Okay, great. I don't have really a long list, but you seemed like you wanted to do this, so you must have stuff you want to talk about, right?
Well, I just think like a lot has happened,
Okay.
right? Because like last we talked, let me just look. Well, aside from Susan,
Mm-hmm.
like
Which
before,
was awesome.
it was awesome. And so like basically the last we talked about how I was really stuck on the coconut, and uh,
Okay.
and we talked about how we were going to, yeah, just like explore that more. And then we have, right? Because like we both started Googling a lot. And the really frustrating part is that every time you Google like 100% natural latex, you come to mattress companies. Like
Hmm.
it's so weird how tightly they're related. And then since you told me last night to just take in your Google search to minus out mattress, I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
That must be how you came across what you came across, right?
I think so. I think I found a couple of things that way. Yeah, so if you minus out the words that you don't want to appear in your search, then you can like exclude stuff. So we just put minus mattress, minus
Yeah.
condom, minus
Yeah.
gloves. Yeah. And then we finally, well, sort of got better search results for sure. But we also learned that like seems like Sri Lanka is like the place for the real deal natural latex stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And like,
an email, right?
yeah, I sent an email to a company there that looks good, but I haven't heard back yet. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking like I wish we could find somebody who was, there's something called a material scientist or like a material engineer, and that person, their job is just to like, they basically build materials like synthetic ones. They make things to work in particular applications.
Okay.
But if we could, like they would, I don't know, they like make a glue that works underwater or in like a certain, that kind of stuff, like real specialized stuff. But I was just thinking, like, if there was any way we could find a material specialist for natural materials, we'd be like set,
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
I've looked, but I can't find anything like even close to that. It seems like somebody should be working on that career path though. Hey,
You don't even know if they're necessarily out there.
I don't like I can't find any results when I search.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah, yeah, so it's kind of frustrating. Um so like if we don't hear back from this company in Sri Lanka, I'm not sure what to do. Like I said yesterday, I think we do have to start calling.
Right.
Well, like and if the people don't know what we're if they don't have an answer for us, we have to start asking, do you know somebody who does? Do you know where we might look? That kind of thing,
Right.
you know?
So, I think we will hear back from them. It's just the weekend, right?
That's true.
So, but yeah, if we don't by like Tuesday, like we should try to call.
Sure.
Okay.
Start making phone calls. Yeah. I did hear back from one company in India, and uh, let me see if I can find the email. It's kind of funny. Oh, where is it? Okay, so the guy basically told me that they could do exactly what they want, what we want, and they had a really interesting. He had like a cool suggestion. I'll share my screen, but I just want to hide some of the details here.
Yeah.
Um, okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a cocoa coir mat with a very thin layer of latex on the bottom.
Okay.
So, like, wouldn't that be perfect to make it not slip, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be. It's pretty perfect. And then he also said, he's like, what we could do is we could put this natural latex coating on the top as well. Just a little, like just a thinner layer. It doesn't have to be super thick. And then it would have that waterproof property, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it might not be bouncy, and we still have to work on that. Like we need to figure out whether, see, to me, I think that if you hit your head on this mat, if the mat is like a centimeter or more thick, I don't think it's going to be hard. Like it might not feel like a pillow, but I have a feeling that you're not going to injure your head on this.
No, I agree. I totally
Yeah,
agree. Yeah. Like I
like we
like
have.
the idea of like thicker latex to just for like the look or like the sponginess, but I don't think that yeah, like this doesn't look like hard, right? If you were to hit your head.
No, no, like it's not gonna bounce like a mattress, but it's unlikely you're gonna. I don't think we'll have to research it and we'll have to get pieces and actually see and talk to people about it. But I really don't think that we need like a thick layer of latex on top of a layer of cocoa coir. I could be wrong though.
And so did they give you an idea of price?
Yeah, they did. They're super cheap too. I'm not going to talk about that on here, but like the problem is I'm going to switch back. I'll
Yeah.
stop sharing my screen. How do I do that? Okay, can you see me now or not?
Um, yep.
Okay, good. So the problem is I said, okay, that sounds good. And I said, um, it has to have no synthetic products in it. And what I said was, like, they want us to buy 1,000 of these.
Okay.
And I mean that's a crazy amount, but the price is at the point where we might almost be able to. But I told them like, okay, we're interested, but what I want to do is I want to put the money in escrow. So that means that like a third party holds the money, and then we get the mats and we get to inspect them. And if there's anything wrong with them, we get our money back. And I
Okay.
basically said, yeah. So I basically said, like, we want to order the mats and we'll put the money in escrow because he was swearing up and down that it's 100% natural. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll get the mats. We'll do some tests and make sure like there's no crap in them. And then if there's not, you get your money. If not, we get our money back. And he didn't respond.
And how long ago was that?
Um, he was responding like within an hour, and now that's been since April 13th, so 2 days now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think that, I think everyone's just, they're so willing to lie,
Right.
you know?
That's
But
so
I was looking at those smoked ribbed mats. Did you
yeah.
see those?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what that is I think that's the way that it's like it's the way they ship the stuff coagulated, like instead of in like a liquid, it ships like that. Like that's like the raw material essentially.
Oh, okay.
It's like raw latex, just
From
coagulated. Hey,
from the Sri Lanka company?
it's just like they had it, they have them, but it's just like generally how it's done in the industry. It looks like,
Okay.
yeah. So I was just wondering if we could possibly get some of those sheets and just see what they're like. They have texture in them. They have like a kind of like a box pattern in them, which wouldn't be good for holding liquids, but it would just be nice to get some of this stuff in our hands.
I know.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just such a slow process, but I think we're getting close. The other thing was I ran into something called jute fiber yesterday, which is what burlap. I think it's burlap.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very similar to cocoa coir. It can be like made into mats and it's very tough. It's super durable. I think it might be even less expensive than cocoa coir.
Okay.
And it also, yeah, it might be easier to source too. Like I think, I'm not sure, but I think it might grow in more parts of the world than coconuts grow. So it's just more accessible.
And what's it called?
It's called jute, Jute.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also known as burlap. Like
Oh,
it's what burlap sacks are made of and stuff like that. So it's just that it's inexpensive. Yeah, yeah. It's inexpensive and it looks very, very similar to the cocoa coir.
and you could do it in like thicker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other thing I forgot to mention about the guy in India is he was saying that they can pick a weave. Like we could pick a weave for the cocoa coir mat to be made of. So we could like pick a really fine weave or like it's woven just like fabric is.
Okay.
Yeah. So um
Tim, would there be like, can we get a sample first?
yeah, maybe I should just ask him, can you send us a sample? But the thing is, if he's not willing to agree to that already, I feel like why waste our time?
I know. I know. I just like, he hasn't said no yet, right?
That's true. Yeah, he hasn't said no yet.
Whenever Jason does like a quote for somebody,
Hmm.
he's always like, or like does a follow up. He'll be like, well, I haven't heard back from them. Like, why would they like have me do all that? And then I just like, like we've gone back and forth and I haven't heard back from them. And I'm like, you sent it like 2 hours ago. And like, sure enough, it'll be like 5 days later and he'll be like, hey, guess who emailed me back and wants me to do the job? Right. So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm way better at like waiting a little bit, like a few more
Okay.
days. Like, I
Okay.
get we
I'm
still need
totally
doing other things, but I don't think that it's off the table. And maybe it is,
okay.
but I don't think we need to write it off yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally like Jason. But I still think that I've never seen any of those 100% natural latex mattress people have stuff coming from India.
Okay.
Like I don't know if it happens. Um, I guess South America also has a bit of a like that's where the rubber tree that this stuff actually comes from is like it's native. It's like was first there, but then it was brought to like Sri Lanka, I think, and India. So it does exist in South America, and I mean it would be better if it could come from South America, probably. But it just seems like everybody in the mattress industry, at least, talks about Sri Lanka. And when you look at Sri Lanka, it looks like they're doing it right. Like
Right.
it seems like, yeah, it seems like the 100% natural is like super important there and what they're sort of basing their industry on. So
That website, that company you sent me, it's a very nice website, hey?
it is,
Really
it
well
is.
put together and explains things.
Yes.
And when I started going through like the products and the application of all the products, it was like so nicely done,
Hmm.
which like gives you
Yeah,
so much
and it,
confidence in it.
hmm totally. And it, yeah, it's talking about some of the stuff that we're talking about too, like baby products. And so a thing that popped into my head yesterday when you sent me that though is like, why aren't we considering making like natural latex baby shoes?
John, I was thinking the exact same thing all day.
Yeah.
Is but like right now, Enzo's getting his like top teeth in. He has something in his mouth constantly. Like, and he loves that monkey you gave him because it has like
Hmm.
all the right parts to it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that all day yesterday. Or like even like I wanted to look more into like the wooden side of things, right? Because I know like those are popular right now. And like I should look into getting him some of those. But yes, like why aren't people doing it with like the 100% natural? Because I think if we looked into anything that's readily available here, we would find
Uh-huh.
that it's not the good stuff.
I think you're right. I did like a really quick search on Amazon.com yesterday,
Mm.
and I can do one right now, but let me try. Hold on, let me see. Okay. What I found was a couple of dog toys, which is pretty sad. Like 100% natural latex dog toys. Yep. People care more about their pets than their babies, apparently. Um,
Yeah, it's just crazy that it's just crazy getting into this.
mhm. What's the term? It's not chew toy. That's for a dog, right? It's
Yeah.
teething,
Teethings. Yeah, teethers.
teether.
Mm-hmm. Teething toy.
Like nobody's advertising 100% natural latex, so I would imagine that if they're not saying that, they're not using that, right?
Right.
They're mostly silicone, and as like silicone, that's what I bought Enzo, but it's still not. Silicone is still a polymer. I believe it's still essentially a plastic.
Okay. Could we talk
Yeah.
about
I think we need to, I was gonna say, I think we need to start like getting more, we need to start getting more like scientific about what's good and what's bad. Like we need to talk to some people about what's toxic and what's not. So I think we better put that on our to-do list.
that? Okay.
And we might even have to just like, we might have to start spending a little bit of money on just consulting, right? Like if we have to spend a couple $100 for a couple different consultants, we may, if we do that, we'll probably find ourselves like miles ahead of where we are too, because
I
they'll be able to direct us.
Yeah. And so they would probably be easier to, like, somebody that knows about that would probably be a little easier to find than like a material engineer specialist.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Like who are you, like what would we even search? Like,
Well, like I did find one, but she was retired. I was looking at like it's associated with kid stuff oftentimes, like taught like um toxins at home consultant. Uh, okay, I found one in Google. Laura Adler, environmental toxin education for health professionals. Okay, that looks like it's an online course though.
okay.
Uh, like we just probably not going to be able to do it right now, but there are people who specialize in like toxins in your home.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did find somebody. Yeah, I definitely did find somebody. So I don't have too much fear that we could find somebody like that. We might also want to talk to like actual scientists, like an academic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was reading an article. I bet I saved the link, but I was reading an article by a doctor who was talking about silicone, and she basically was saying that it's like right now they don't have any proof, but she was saying that chances are in the future they'll be able to show that it's not good for kids. Like it affects the endocrine system and stuff. I'm not a scientist, I don't know, but she was saying that potentially it's going to be a problem too. So I think we just need to start searching for those kinds of people.
Well, like, didn't they stop making breast implants with silicone because it's not like they
I
don't
don't.
make silicone. Like I know they started using that because they thought it was better, and now they don't use silicone anymore because it's not good.
Okay.
Pretty sure. So there's like already
Okay.
like lots of like questions raised about silicone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Apparently.
okay, I think that should be like number one on our to-do list then.
Okay. I think you're right. Yeah. I think we need to start talking to people because those people may have ideas about materials too.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's going to cost a little bit because I don't think everyone's going to be willing to just do it for free, but at least we start building up information on our YouTube and start
Yeah.
we can start having more educated discussions because we're sort of like winging it still.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I do think like I'm it's funny, like I'm usually quite impatient, but with this, like I know that like I don't expect anything for like a long time,
Yeah.
right? Because
Uh-huh.
if we're doing it the right way,
Uh-huh.
it can't be quick. It's not going to be quick.
Yeah. And in a way, I also feel like even if somebody else releases something, like that's always the worry if it's too slow, right? That somebody else is going to come and do it. Even if somebody else releases something, I think we're doing something unique enough. Like as long as we stick to what we're talking about with plant dyes and
Mhm.
like a flannel cut, like flannel removable covers, or like a really nice material that looks good, and like the natural, all the natural products, I think we'll do it in a way that's different enough that like maybe there it'll be we can support, you'll be able to support a couple different, the market will be able to have a couple different
Right.
options, you know, like it's not like we're going to build the exact same thing as the next guy and then we're going to be competing on price, because we don't want to do that.
No.
That no, that'll make it so hard. Like nor you nor I want to be in that kind of business. Like we
No.
want to build something good and make enough money to like keep making cool stuff. Otherwise, we're not going to change our minds and just like start selling crap, right? We're just
For
going to,
sure.
yeah, it's just not going to happen. I have a couple other things I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you do.
No, not much. I think that covers like yeah, I was just gonna say like we could talk like recap on like or debrief on Susan and just like where we want to go with that, or are we just kind of putting it on like the back burner for a little bit until we figure other stuff out, or what? What do you think?
Mhm. Okay, well, I emailed her yesterday and I told her, like, I kind of gave her a little bit of a budget. And I said, because everything else is still up in the air, we don't want to spend a bunch of money right now because we have to make sure the base of the mat is going to work before we like even consider making fabrics. So I told her, like, I gave her a budget and I said, hopefully with this, we can get some samples in our hands and also have like find something to potentially order for our first run.
Mhm.
So I haven't heard back from her, but I'm sure I hope she's okay with that.
Yep.
And like you said, I think you're right what you said yesterday. Like the first one, it's either gonna have to be just a plain mat, or like the other thing that we could do is potentially do like a stripe or something if we did it ourselves, like just experimenting, you know. But
Sure.
we can't pay a factory to do a print, like it not for the first round. No. So it's pretty, we're not asking for much then. We just want the fabric that's dyed. And another thing I thought about yesterday is like potentially what about Velcro to stick the mat to the top of the, that might work, hey?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, then you don't have a snap or a magnet to worry about
Yep.
eating.
Yep.
And you could have like the Velcro wouldn't make it uncomfortable like a snap might, because if you hit your head on a snap, it might, that would suck,
Mhm.
right? So if the Velcro wouldn't do that, you could probably have more of it. Like you could probably have a piece of Velcro every foot or something.
Because do you not think it would work as just like a mattress cover, like just like the top sheet of a mattress, or like I think about like his crib sheet, like how it just like has like the elastic sides and it just tucks under. Like what do you?
I I don't know if I like the look of that.
But
Like
it would be completely tucked under.
I know, but how would you tuck under? Like if where you like it's gonna be, when you tuck a mattress cover under, it gets all like bunched up.
No, but the fitted sheet that has the elastic.
Yeah, I guess that looks pretty flat.
When you're over next, look at Enzo's
Mhm.
mattress because his like
Okay.
sheet is just like perfectly fitted. It doesn't bunch up around the corners or anything.
Okay. But don't you think a Velcro sheet would be easier to pull off than having to like tuck this mattress cover underneath?
But where would the Velcro go? Like, would it just be on the top? Like, what would the side
Yeah.
look like?
The
Because
side
the sides then are like
this
rough.
true. true, but how is the kid gonna even touch the side?
Well, I'm not even thinking about touch, but I'm thinking about the look of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, in my mind, when I see it, I see a very like, I actually see from the side that you can see the mat, like see the components. And I don't know if that works, but that's what's in my head. So that's why I'm talking this way.
Right.
Like I'm thinking you can see some of the cocoa coir, you can see some of the latex, and then you can see the side strip of the mattress, like the top mat. So it's like a sandwich kind of a thing from the side. And I think that might look really clean, but it also I might be wrong.
Well, you know what? Like that is going to be one of the easiest parts because once we have a mat in our hands, we go with a
Yeah.
piece of fabric and then we get mom to do a one of each, right? And
Hmm.
like that's going to be easy, like a weekend kind of thing.
Yeah, you're right. We don't have to decide on that now.
Yeah. But a Velcro's a good idea. I never even thought of Velcro.
Yeah. I just want it to be super, super easy to change that top cover.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how Velcro washes. I think it washes fine, right?
I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
I go and like take his like sheet off his mattress. I just like whip it off and then whip one on, and it's all.
But when you put it's easy to take off, but when you put it on, you kind of have to like lift up the mat and like tuck it under, right?
Yeah, it doesn't go very far under though. It really just tucks around the corners.
Yeah. Okay, well, you'll have to show me. I mean, yeah, like you said, we're just gonna we can try both and see what looks best and makes the most sense.
Right.
If it can look really like structured in the way that it tucks under, like if there can basically be seams in the side that make it like square looking and nice and clean looking, then maybe what you're saying is best. But
Okay.
if it looks like frumpy in any way, especially if we use other materials, like if we start using that hand woven stuff that I showed you yesterday,
Yeah.
if if we were to use that, I think that would be really nasty to tuck under. Like it would just it's not going to like be nice and soft like a mattress cover and like tuck under like that. It's like canvas, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so that's I don't know. But we'll see about that. But um another thing is we should really figure out we have to start doing something on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook.
Okay. I know I've
Yeah.
been thinking lots about that. So, um, yeah, I just don't know which route to go. Like I went, so Facebook has like a bunch of different groups, right? So I like
Okay.
searched like, natural like kids product groups kind of thing. And like
Okay.
what comes up is yes, there are groups of people who like set up this like site and then they just like advertise different products. Well, they'll just be like, "Oh, I found this. This is like 100% natural like kids clothing or whatever." Right? And
Okay.
so it's not much of a discussion. It's just like advertising of different companies, which is great for when
Okay.
we have something, right?
Hmm.
But I don't know, like, I don't know if people that are part of that group, I don't know if they're necessarily interested in like this side of things. You know, they want a product. I feel like
Hmm.
I do feel like there's a large amount of people who would be interested in this side, but I don't know if that's where to find them.
Okay.
And then Instagram's very like when you like go on there, it's like businesses and advertising, right? And like influencers, which again is like when you have a product, I feel like, but I might be just missing a whole side of social media because I've never been interested in it before.
Yeah, and I haven't done a lot of like business on social media either. I just like uh, for for a place like Facebook or it's just we want to have an audience. We want to start building an audience, and I think YouTube, like what we're doing right now, it's going to be difficult for people to find us because we're just kind of like floating off in. We're not really doing it on YouTube to find an audience. It's more to have a track record and like have a history of what we've done. But
So
I think we do need to.
TikTok using YouTube as well. Like
Lots of
that's
people.
on TikTok. Like I see have you ever been on TikTok?
I don't have the app. No.
Next time you're over, I'll show you. I need to show you that. Just because
Okay.
there are, like, I've found lots of people, like, I found a girl, like, starting a swimsuit company in Edmonton or Calgary or something like that. And she just started making videos from the beginning. And then she started, like, on her video, she started, like, showing how to use, like, Alibaba Express to, like, filter out certain things. And but I don't know if she's one of the ones. I found another one that also like references their YouTube channel as well. Like they'll be like for more information
Okay.
on this because TikTok's like max, I think 60 seconds. But you can
Okay.
part one and part two on TikTok. But I think TikTok might be a good option because when you start following somebody on TikTok, then you get all of their updates. So, for example, if we posted something, every time we talk or every couple of days, like that would, it's just more of like, it's like, I feel like TikTok's more unfinished.
Okay.
Whereas Instagram and Facebook, it's like, well, what's the point if you don't have a product? Whereas TikTok, I feel like that's where you go to like, you can go to like build your product.
Yeah.
I'll show you a couple accounts next time, and you can just tell me
Sure.
what you think. And at first,
Sure.
like, well, TikTok's so like that's like what like high school students are doing, but it's not. It's what like it's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's this guy. This. Sorry, I missed that, Annie. What was the last thing you said?
Like I'm not the only mom that's like there's lots of mom
No.
talk, like a
You
lot.
know, no, no, I totally get it. So there's this guy, Gary V, and
Mhm.
he started the first thing he did was Wine Library TV. I think it was maybe a little bit before your time, but Gary V was like basically a YouTube pioneer in 2006 and 7. Like kind of he was like one of the first people who actually built a big following on YouTube, like a serious business following. And all he did, his dad owned a wine company, and he did kind of like what we're doing, but it was a little bit more of a show. Like he just like bring a bottle of wine from his dad's wine company, sit in front of the computer, and he wasn't like a wine connoisseur. He was just like kind of like a regular dude talking about wines. And so he'd have a glass of wine, talk about where it's from, taste it, like talk about it. And it was just super like simple, natural kind of show, not too showy. And anyways, he built like a giant business based on that. And then he started a media company. And right now he's kind of like you could say motivator. It doesn't sound great, but he's kind of like a business advisor. Like he's an advisor to big and small business, but he's like super big on TikTok. Like,
Okay.
and everybody who talks to him, no matter what they do, like they often say, "Oh, I don't know, TikTok's like for comedy," and he's like, "No, no, 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 no. You need to work on TikTok because it's like kind of an untapped platform."
Okay.
So yeah, so he would totally agree with you. I just don't know the platform and don't understand what you post there, but he would 100% agree with you. So you
So,
might want to listen to him. Like you might
sure.
want to talk yeah.
What's his last name?
It's Gary V. So
Yeah.
GaryVee.
Okay.
If you just search Gary V TikTok, you'll see.
Okay, totally. I'll start watching his stuff because like I see businesses on there, like people that are like starting, and basically like TikTok's just full of trends, right? Like it'll be like right now there's like 10 trendy songs that everybody like has either a dance to or a skit to or something like that. And like these businesses follow those trends. It's just they use them to promote whatever they're doing or to talk about whatever they're doing instead of like more personal, like personal accounts.
Okay.
But yeah, and there's like me and my girlfriend always talk about like the side of TikTok that you make it to because when you start like liking or looking at more things, like for example, like there's tons of like nutritionists on there, right? And once you like watch one for more than 10 seconds, it starts sending you more. And to get
Okay.
out of that, you need to stop watching them, right? But there's just different
Okay.
sides to it. So I obviously have not hit like the business side of it, but I'll go watch him and see. Like I'll start following him. And then next time you and I should spend some time on it.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, like why don't we? It's super easy to make an account. Why don't we make an account on there and then start
Yeah.
deciding what we want to do?
Yeah, for sure. I think we have to. Another thing that I think might work on a platform like Instagram is we might be able to just post in the beginning. Like let's say we posted a picture of like a plastic mat, and then underneath we just kind of went on a bit of a rant about what's in a plastic mat, like that simple, and then like have another post about I don't know, like some other natural materials we've talked about, and then like talk about like almost like did you know. It doesn't necessarily suit the platform, but like it would give us a start for the account, like it would give us a start. And a big part of what I want is just to be able to point back to like right now and be like, see, we started all this back then and it's all documented, like just to start the accounts. And then if they change, they change. Like they don't have to, there's no rules, right? We could change the next day and decide, okay, we're going to post like clips from our talks or interviews or
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah.
The with Instagram, like Instagram, you're basically relying on either people to search hashtags or for like people to like share and like kind of spread the word, because you need to find somebody to follow on Instagram, right?
Right.
Saying that's bad because you know start talking to like some moms groups or parent groups or whatever.
Yeah.
um, and then TikTok is you don't, like I watch people all across North America and I don't have any connection to them at all. I'm not friends with their friends or anything like that. It's just like that's, I think TikTok can like reach a little further because of that reason. But yeah, like what you're saying about Instagram, I do get. And then you have like a record of posts and that information, which is nice too.
Yeah. And it just gives you a bit of legitimacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is like eventually once we get closer, we're gonna have to we'll just start running ads to our content. Like we'll start running, what we can do is like we can go to YouTube and we can find a video on, let's say there's a really popular video on a specific mat. I don't know, like a review of a plastic mat. We could run an ad ahead of that video where it's like for 5 seconds, it's just you and I, maybe something funny, like, did you know, like some
Yeah.
stupid thing, right? And then have them click, and if they click, they get sent to our content. And
Right.
some people won't click, some people will not care, but some people will, if we have something interesting to say in a short period of time, some people might be like, okay, I'm gonna like subscribe, and we can start building possibly that way, because I think it'll be hard to build organically just through YouTube search, but if we get it in front of the right people, some people will be interested. I can guarantee it, if we have
Right.
the right stuff, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be nice to start building up the audience before we actually have anything to sell, and that maybe it's that time that we actually go to Facebook and
Right.
yeah, doing that.
Then yeah,
Yeah.
like I'll put that on our to do too. Is like
Okay. So most importantly, I think we need to start talking to some non-toxic, some like consultants or something, right?
yeah. So we need to start looking for the right people.
Is that in our, where are the to-dos?
I'm actually just taking notes in like the episodes, just like what we talk about.
Oh, okay.
For, like episode 7. So I didn't really have any. I didn't like label it to dos because basically every point is just like a to do for us.
Okay.
You see where I'm working?
I'm just getting there. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, this is great. Okay.
So it's just all in one place, right? So you can go, you can see what we talked about, and you can like recap on like what we need to do now.
Okay, sure. Yeah, perfect. I did have some other stuff I want to talk about, but I think we're getting a little bit long again. So why don't we? try again during the week, like late in the week, or well, if we hear back from somebody earlier, but if not, let's just yeah. So why don't we try and each come up with potentially somebody to talk to? What do you think? Or do you want me to just do that, or what do you want to do?
Like I'll look too,
Okay.
and we'll see what we come across, and then and maybe I'll look into like TikTok. We'll need to like decide on a name. I don't know if you want to be the Unnamed
Yeah,
Kid Company.
I don't know. It's
Okay.
kind of flat.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I do think it has its appeal too. Like I like it, but I don't know. I don't know. We can
Yeah,
talk about that though. We can text about that. But
for
I do
sure.
could like get accounts going for TikTok and Instagram. At least
Okay.
base of it, so we have something there when we're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
yeah, check out Gary V because I
I
think yeah, you'll like him, and also like he even just what we're doing now, like with recording our stuff, it's like basically from him. Like he's like he says don't you're not like don't create content, just document what you're doing. Like that's how you start. Just start documenting what you're doing, and that's just what we're doing.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, let's kill it here and talk again soon. I think I'm gonna come visit over the weekend, right? I
Okay, good.
hope.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, I want to see Enzo and stuff.
I'll text you when we can figure something out, but yes.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Okay, love you.
Okay, cool. Love you too. See you soon. Bye.